Alright, we are live. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namaste.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Sade.
Vasudevaya. Om
Om
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shilakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Chapter 3, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. First canto. Sri Suta Goswami said, in the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients of material creation. And thus, at first, there was creation of the 16 principles of material action. This was the purpose of creation. This was the purpose of creating the material universes. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The Bhagavad Gita states that the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna maintains these material universes by extending his plenary expansions. So the Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. The original personality of Godhead Vasudev or Lord Krishna, who is famous as the son of King Vasudev and King Nanda, is full of opulences, all potencies, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. A part of his opulence is manifested as impersonal Brahman, and a part of his opulences is manifested as Paramatma. This Purusha feature of the same personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is original Paramatma manifestation of the Lord. There are three Purushas, the material creation, and this form, who is known as Karanodakshais, is the first of three. The others are known as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu and Shirodakshai Vishnu, which we shall know one after another. The innumerable universes are generated from the skin holes of Karnodakshai Vishnu. And in each one of the universe, the Lord enters as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also mentioned that material world is created at certain intervals and then again destroyed. This creation and destruction is done by the supreme will because of conditioned souls or the Nitya Baddha, living beings. The Nitya Baddha or the eternal conditioned souls have sense of individuality or ahankar, which dictates to them sense enjoyment, which they are unable to have constitutionally. The Lord is the only enjoyer and all others are enjoyed. The living beings are predominated enjoyers. But the eternally conditioned souls, forgetful of this constitutional position, have strong aspirations to enjoy. The chance to enjoy matter is given to the conditioned souls in the material world, and side by side they are given chance to understand their real constitutional position. Those fortunate living entities who catch the truth and surrender onto the lotus feet of Vasudeva, after many births in the material world, join the eternally liberated soul and thus are allowed to enter the kingdom of Godhead. After this, such fortunate living entities need not come again within the occasional material creation. But those who cannot catch the constitutional truth are again merged into Mahat Tattva at the time of annihilation of material creation. When creation is again set up, this Mahat Tattva is again let loose. This Mahat Tattva contains all the ingredients of material manifestations, including the conditioned souls. Primarily, this Mahat Tattva is divided into 16 parts, namely 5 gross elements and 11 working instruments of senses. It is like the cloud in the clear sky. In the spiritual sky, the effulgence of Brahman is spread all around, and the whole system is dazzling in spiritual light. The Mahat Tattva is assembled in some corner of the vast, unlimited spiritual sky, and the part which is thus covered by Mahat Tattva is called material sky. The Mahat Tattva is assembled in some corner of the vast unlimited spiritual sky, and the part which is thus covered by the Mahat Tattva is called the material sky. This part of the spiritual sky is called Mahat Tattva, is only an insignificant portion of the whole spiritual sky, and within this Mahat Tattva there are innumerable universes. All these universes are collectively produced by the Karno-Dakshayi Vishnu, called also the Mahavishnu, who simply throws his glance to impregnate the material sky. Verse 2. A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. From the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop this stem, Brahma, the master of all energies in the universe, becomes manifest. The first Purusha is Karano-Dakshayi Vishnu. From his skin holes, innumerable universes have sprung up. In each and every universe, the Purusha enters as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. He is lying within the half of the universe which is full of water of his body, which is full with the water of his body. And from the navel of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu has sprung the stem of lotus flower, the birthplace of Brahma, who is the father of all living beings and the master of all demigod engineers engaged in the perfect design and working of the universal order. Within the stem of the lotus there are 14 divisions of planetary systems, and the earthly planets are situated in the middle. Upwards there are other better planetary systems, and the topmost system is called Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. Downwards from the earthly planetary system there are 7 lower planetary systems inhabited by the asuras and similarly other materialistic living beings. From Garbhodakshayi Vishnu there is expansion of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, who is collective Paramatma of all living beings. He is called Hari, and from him all incarnations within the universe are expanded. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Purusha avatar is manifested in 3 features. First, the Karano-Dakshayi Vishnu, who creates aggregate material ingredients in the Mahat Tattva. Secondly, the Garbhodakshayi, who enters in each and every universe. Third, the Kshirodakshayi, who is the Paramatma of every material object, organic or inorganic. One who knows these plenary features of personality of Godhead properly, and thus the knower becomes freed from material conditions of birth, death, old age, disease, as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In this shloka, the subject matter of Mahavishnu is summarized. The Mahavishnu lies down in some part of the spiritual sky by his own free will. Thus he lies on the ocean of Karna, from where he glances over his material nature, and Mahat Tattva is at once created. Thus electrified by the power of the Lord, the material nature at once creates innumerable universes, just as in due course a tree decorates itself with innumerable grown fruits. The seed of the tree is sown by the cultivator, and the tree or creeper is the seed of the tree is sown by the cultivator, and the tree or creeper in due course becomes manifested with so many fruits. Nothing can take place without a cause. The Karna ocean is therefore called the causal ocean. Karna means causal. We should not foolishly accept the atheistic theory of creation. The description of the atheist is given in Bhagavad Gita. The atheist do not believe in the creator, but he cannot give a good theory to explain the creation. Material nature has no power to create without the power of the Purusha, just as Prakriti of woman cannot produce a child without the connection of a Purusha of man. The Purusha impregnates and the Prakriti delivers. We should not expect milk from fleshy bags on the neck of a goat, although they look like breastly nipples. Similarly, we should not expect any creative power from the material ingredients. We must believe in the power of the Purusha who impregnates Prakriti or nature. Because the Lord wished to lie down in meditation, the material energy created innumerable universes at once. In each of them, the Lord lay down, and thus all the planets and the different paraphernalia were created at once by the will of the Lord. The Lord has unlimited potencies, and thus He can act as He likes by perfect planning. Although personally He has nothing to do, no one is greater than or equal to Him. That is the verdict of the Vedas. So, would you like to take over?
Sure. Text 3. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence, par excellence. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The conception of the Virat Rupa or Vishvarup of the Supreme Absolute Truth is especially meant for the neophyte who can hardly think of the transcendental form of the personality of God. To him, a form means something of this material world, and therefore an opposite conception of the Absolute is necessary in the beginning to concentrate the mind on the power extension of the Lord. As stated above, the Lord extends his potency in the form of the Mahat-tattva, which includes all material ingredients. The extension of power by the Lord and the Lord himself personally are one in one sense, but at the same time the Mahat-tattva is different from the Lord. Therefore, the potency of the Lord and the Lord are simultaneously different and non-different. The conception of the Virat Rupa, especially for the impersonalist, is thus non-different from the eternal form of the Lord. This eternal form of the Lord exists prior to the creation of the Mahat-tattva, and it is stressed here that the eternal form of the Lord is par excellence, spiritual or transcendental to the modes of material nature. The very same transcendental form of the Lord is manifested by his internal potency, and the formation of his multifarious manifestations of incarnations is always of the same transcendental quality, without any touch of the Mahat-tattva. Text 4. The devotees, with their perfect eyes, see the transcendental form of the Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. Purport. With our present materialized senses, we cannot perceive anything of the transcendental Lord. Our present senses are to be rectified by the process of devotional service, and then the Lord himself becomes revealed to us. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and that only devotional service can reveal him. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said that the Lord is always visible to the devotees whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of devotional service. So we have to take information of the transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen him with perfect eyes, smeared with devotional service. In the material world also, we do not always see things with our own eyes. We sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or known things. If that is the process for experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in matters transcendental. So only with patience and perseverance can we realize the transcendental subject matter regarding the absolute truth and his different forms. He is formless to the neophytes, but he is in transcendental form to the expert servitor. Text 5. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. Purport. The Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahatattva, entered in each of them as the second Purusha, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there was only darkness and space without a resting place, he filled half of the universe with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. This water is called Garbhodaka. Then from his navel the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the flower petals the birth of Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from Rajoguna of Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature, and Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu, being transcendental to all the modes, is always aloof from materialistic affection. This has already been explained. From Brahma, there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of the mode of ignorance or darkness. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnations of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From Brahma, the other demigods like Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and many others become incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. This Garbhodakshai Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbha Stuti, which begin with the description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. The Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the Lord of the universe, and although he appears to be lying within the universe, he is always transcendental. This also has already been explained. The Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, is the supersoul of the universal life, and he is known as the maintainer of the universe, or Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from this Kshirodakshai Vishnu. In different millennia, there are different incarnations, and they are innumerable, although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Narsimha, Vamana, and many others. These incarnations are called Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or Rudra, who take charge of the different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is non-different from the personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and the living entities, or jivas. Brahma is always a jiva-tattva. The highest pious living being, or the greatest devotee of the Lord, is empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation, and he is called Brahma. His power is like the power of the sun reflected in valuable stones and jewels. When there is no such living being to take the charge of the post of Brahma, the Lord himself becomes a Brahma and takes charge of the post. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is the plenary portion of the Lord, but because Lord Shiva is in direct touch with material nature, he is not exactly in the same transcendental position as Lord Vishnu. The difference is like that between milk and curd. Curd is nothing but milk, and yet it cannot be used in place of milk. The next incarnations are the Manus, within 1 day's duration of the life of Brahma, which is calculated by our solar year as 4,300,000 times 1,000 years. There are 14 Manus. Therefore, there are 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma, and 5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years of his age, and therefore there are 5,040 times 100, or 504,000 Manus in the duration of Brahma's life. There are innumerable universes with one Brahma in each of them, and all of them are created and annihilated during the breathing time of the Purusha. Therefore, one can simply imagine how many millions of Manus there are during one breath of the Purusha. The Manus who are prominent within this universe are as follows: Yagya as Swayambhuva Manu, Vibhu as Svarochisha Manu, Satyasena as Uttama Manu, Hari as Tamasa Manu, Vaikunta as Raivata Manu, Ajita as Chakshusha Manu, Vamana as Vaivasvata Manu. In the present age is under the Vaivasvata Manu. Sarvabhauma as Savarni Manu, Rishab as Daksha Savarni Manu, Vishvaksena as Brahma Savarni Manu, Dharmasetu as Dharma Savarni Manu, Sudama as Rudra Savami Manu, Yogeshwar as Deva Savarni Manu, and Brihad Banu as Indra Savarni Manu. These are the names of one set of 14 Manus covering 4,300,000,000 solar years as described above. Then there are the Yuga avatars, or the incarnations of the millennia. The Yugas are known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. The incarnations of each Yuga are of different color. The colors are white, red, black, and yellow. In the Dvapar Yuga, Lord Krishna in black color appeared, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in yellow color appeared. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation, for an incarnation must be mentioned in the Shastras. An incarnation does not declare himself to be an incarnation of the Lord, but great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The features of the incarnation and the particular type of mission which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Apart from the direct incarnations, there are innumerable empowered incarnations. They are also mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. When they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations. But when they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Directly empowered incarnations are the Kumaras, Narada, Prithu, Sesha, Ananta, etc. As far as vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And for all these different types of incarnations, the fountainhead is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Before we finish, I just want to say one point, which I was thinking about. We were reading Nectar of Devotion today in Bhakti Shastri with Her Grace Prabhupada Priya Prabhu. And in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada describes how although some of the symptoms of bhava bhakti can be cheated or faked, there are 9 symptoms which no one can fake, which can only be exhibited, and observed by, discerning people will be able to tell if it is genuine or not. And I was thinking that Krishna consciousness, Vaishnavism, is so scientific, because to find who is actually a realized devotee there's actually a scientific way that a sincere seeker can examine that person. Are they exhibiting those symptoms? And it's the same thing for finding out if someone's God. That there are so many people that can claim to be an incarnation of God, but it doesn't matter, because scientifically you can examine them and see, oh, no, that's not God. So we're really fortunate that it's not just sentimental, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree actually. Like just couple minutes back before our class, I was listening to a lecture, and our Srila Gurudev was saying that, sorry. Yeah, so our Srila Gurudev was saying that basically science without Krishna consciousness is mental speculation, and Krishna consciousness without science, sorry, I think something in those lines, that science without,
Prabhupada says philosophy without religion is mental speculation, and religion without philosophy is just sentimentalism.
yeah, same. He was just mentioning Srila Prabhupada only.
Yeah,
The same thing, yeah.
yeah, similar concept, yeah. Yeah, of course, we are working on arising the love of Krishna within our hearts, but, it's not cheap. It's scientific, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
But
very much.
yeah, but there's also spontaneous love in Brajvasis. We cannot imitate them, but they have
Yeah,
this. They've already
yeah.
did all these things. And one point I would like to mention is this one where Srila Prabhupada gives this Falashruti, or he kind of says that it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, but he's still giving this kind of a Falashruti, that one who knows these plenary features of personality of Godhead properly, and thus the knower becomes freed from material conditions of birth, death, old age, disease. And then he says, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And
Janma
I just thought of another thing, which is, of course, the residents of Vrindavan and their love for Krishna is spontaneous, but that isn't cheap either, because they have to toil and toil for many, many thousands of births to come to Vraj,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know? So they are, or if they are eternal associates, then of course, how can we compare ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So,
And Prabhupada mentioned
yeah.
that to someone, right? That someone was asking, some of these Brajvasis, they don't have a guru. So Srila Prabhupada
Yeah.
replied, right, that they have served their guru so well in previous lives that even if they don't have a guru in this life, they have this because they served their guru in their previous lives.
Yeah. Jai.
And even in Garg
Thank
Samhita,
you.
it is mentioned so nicely. Like there were so many there was full chapter on what someone did to become a gopi in Vrindavan. Like someone did a lot of tapasya, someone it's been a long time, I don't remember, but there are different munis and there are different wives, different kind of these things. Like there was some with Lord Ram, there was some who performed Leela with some other incarnation of Krishna, and then they asked to be in this kind of this thing, and Krishna gives them this, Vishnu actually gives them this benediction that in your next life you will be a maid servant there. So there's just so much which is given there in Garg Samhita as well.
Jai. Wonderful. I hope to get into it one day after the Bhagavatam.
We started in
Hare
Chaitanya
Krishna.
Charitamrita after Bhagavatam, but okay.